Hayla, on a scale of 1 to a cat's life, how tired are you right now?
I would say like a happy, 6, I reckon. If a cat's life at 9, I would have said, if it was 10, I would have said maybe a steady 7.
We were just talking about how you literally just got home from EDC Vegas.
I did, yeah. I got back yesterday afternoon, probably about 3 p.m., maybe, something like that. So I'm doing well.
Thinking back to last year doing EDC Vegas for my first time, I still haven't recovered. So I don't know. I don't know how you've recovered right now.
Loads of Barocca. I think that's probably it, really. That and some hope.
Let's pray to recover.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Hayla, welcome back to America's Dance 30.
Oh, thank you so much for having me again. Huh?
And I told you, we were talking before the interview that I love the blonde highlights in the hair. And I had made the comment on America's Dance 30 the first time you posted. I was like, I don't know if this is Hayla or not, but I think she has blonde hair now.
Yeah, I just did a little Rogue from the X-Men thing. It's not Cruella de Vil. It is, just want to point that out. I didn't hone her, even though it's fashion style, Yeah.
No, it looks good. I might do the same thing next week.
You should. Oh my God, do.
Totally.
You gotta tag me in it, though. Tag me in the post. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, before we talk all about your smash, where you are with John Summit, let's talk about some of these shows you've been doing. You and John were actually just at Red Rocks doing a show, which was incredible. Was that your first time?
Yeah, it's one of those places that obviously I've never even been to as an audience member, so I know of it. In the UK, it's very iconic as well. But the scale of it, I don't think it was, I don't think I could really, and I still can't put into words what that was like for the first time. Seeing the size and the scale and the scope of that stage, the backdrop, the surroundings was absolutely mesmerizing. Yeah,
it really is mind-blowing. I was there for my first time, ironically, for K5. I think it was either earlier this year or last year, and I was just blown away by the atmosphere and everything.
It's amazing, isn't it? And I think as well, also as well, the sound, because I didn't really know what to expect, but because obviously the rocks probably, keep it in a bit, I don't know, but the sound was incredible as well.
And that's what I was just going to ask you. Was it, obviously the reverb had to be insane bouncing off of the rocks. How different was it?
Do you know what? It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I genuinely thought it would have been a bit of a spirally kind of sound, a bit wishy-washy, but it was, do you know what? It was amazing. And I really didn't expect that either. And I'm not sure whether the bodies helped, because I think, is it 10,000?
I couldn't even tell you. Could not even
tell
you.
I think it's something around that. It's basically quite a lot of faces to sort of be okay, before you go on. But it was, the sound was absolutely incredible. And I genuinely didn't expect it to be that good.
I've watched a lot of specials from people performing there, and being in the crowd, I remember just turning around. And so I got a couple of different aspects. One, we were in the crowd and we were looking around, and that was just mind-blowing. Yeah. And then we went, I don't know if you did this, we went all the way up to the top, and we were watching some of the show from the top. And just seeing the backdrop of the city behind it, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, because obviously the city over in the court, obviously off to the side. Because I actually went off on a bit of a wander in the day just whilst we were doing sound check, and I made my way up to the very back of the stage. So I didn't see it when it was actually playing live, so I didn't get to see all the lights of the city. But yeah, I didn't know that you'd be able to see that far. It's amazing.
It's such an amazing venue. I'm glad you got to perform there. It looked incredible. And this is kind of our 1-year anniversary, because we met for the first time a year ago at EDC Vegas when you were there performing for K5. Now, you were just there again performing with Acraze. How was that?
It was amazing. And obviously I was there last year, but it's still, I felt exactly the same way. It was just absolutely incredible. And seeing that many people, and I know the song that I did is it's not yet released, so but I still managed to get people to sing along. But it was absolutely incredible, and it was definitely not lost on me, the vastness of that festival. And I did actually get lost at one point. So I got to walk around. So I actually went all the way through the festival, as you do. I got my steps right up. But it was amazing to actually get immersed in the festival and see it a little bit more and just kind of like go to the different stages as well. But that stage, I played at the same stage as I did with KX5, and a lot of memories came flooding back, which was really nice.
But we were saying that it's a completely different vibe, or at least from somebody who wasn't there, it looked like a completely different vibe this year for you.
Yeah. I mean, it just felt, I don't know, I'm not sure, in a really good way. It did have a bit of a different vibe, but it was honestly, it was incredible. Like the atmosphere was amazing, and it felt a bit more, I mean, without the moving heads there, obviously I was on the DJ booth, so I didn't go through the track this time. So I was definitely a lot less death-defying.
Maybe that's what it was, because when you performed with K5, if I remember, you performed kind of in front of them, right?
Yes, yeah.
Whereas this, with that craze, you were on the DJ rig with him, which looking out from that high is just amazing.
Yeah, I could definitely see a lot further, actually. Now you say it, actually, I could see over people a lot more. Whereas before I was kind of, not obviously person height, but I was able to sort of see to a certain level. And this time I think I was able to pick people out further back. I tried not to dwell on it too much though, because I think if I did, I'd be like, oh no, put the mic down.
Why isn't that person singing?
Yeah, I'd be like, know the words.
Even though the song's not released, but we don't need to talk about that.
I mean, I don't ask for a lot, I don't think.
Now, I've told everybody, when you're on stage at a festival, looking out on tens upon tens of thousands of people is just so incredible. What's it like when you're performing?
The funniest thing is, I know that when I've basically got my first step, and I know that I've got to take that step, and just before that first step, I can feel all the butterflies, and my heart's kind of doing a bit of a weird backward beat thing. And then as soon as I sort of hear the music, I just think, okay. And I kind of go off into like a little bit of a I don't know what it is. People call it altered states, but it's like a performance mode thing where I just feel like quite calm.
Really?
Yeah, no, that sounds really weird, but I do feel quite like, okay. And then I get off, and then the butterflies come back, and I'm like, what happened?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a borderline out of body blackout experience.
I mean, I'm there still, I'm taking it all in, and I'm really looking into people and tuning into whoever I'm DJing with and just the vibe of it. And sometimes I actually only wear one earbud. So, because I love to hear the audience back, and obviously the immediate surroundings of that sound as well. Yeah, so I'm there, but I'm like, I feel like a bit more zen than I feel like I should be, which I don't know whether that's a good thing or
no, it's totally understandable, because when I have to speak in front of 5, 10, 50 people, my anxiety is through the roof, because that small amount of people are literally staring at you and listening to every single... Oh my God, my anxiety is building. But anyways, when you're in front of 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people, it's a blur at that point, and so it's a lot more calming, as weird as it is.
Yeah, in a strange way. I think it's kind of I don't know what it is. I just sort of go, well, I'm here. And all the butterflies that I have after maybe the first sentence are kind of all good. And I'm like, just go in, you know what you're doing. You're all good, So in a really normal way, I suppose maybe that's kind of what's going on, I'm just kind of self-soothing with the music,
Yeah, it's totally the same on my end as an MC. Once I get past that first announcement, I'm fine. Yeah. But it's that lead up to, okay, is the mic going to sound right? Is it going to be loud enough? Am I going to say the right thing? Once you get past all of that overthinking, you're good to go.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And I definitely think that after I've finished it, though, I do end up getting the anxiety back. And I'm like, was that okay? Was that all right? Was it going to do all right?
Oh, my God. If I lived in the UK, we would be total BFFs, because we are the same person. Oh, my God. Let's talk about your smash, where you are with John Summit. How was this song born? It is so amazing.
Well, I mean, it was really helped by the fact, I suppose, that, the connection really helped by the fact that John did the remix for Escape, the KX5 remix. Basically, the top line did exist. It was written just after Escape. And we sort of had the top line and we just thought, you know what? I wonder if he'd be interested, because he obviously liked the vibe of Escape. So we collectively sort of sent it over and just thought, we'll see if he likes it, I don't know. But he got back to us pretty much straight away and had an idea, had a vibe. And it's probably the quickest turnaround of a track that I've ever had. Yeah, from like sending to kind of getting the sort of near release ready version. Yeah.
That is amazing. Now, speaking of the release version, I always love finding out how many different versions there are from when it started to when it's finally released with all the tweaking. Now, obviously, I don't think you saw all the versions that John might have done, but from the singer-songwriter aspect of it, were there a lot of versions of the song?
Do you know, I think we probably only had maybe about 3 or 4, something like that. But what it was really was more kind of getting like edits to the sound that he wanted to create from the track, So it was kind of getting that vibe right, making sure that, I suppose, like the rise and fall of it. I know I was going to do some more ad-libs on it at some point, so I recorded a few more, but then we just thought, you know what, less is more. So we ended up leaving it like that. But I think it was probably, honestly, about 3 or 4 that I saw. John, if he was, he'd probably tell you something totally different. He'd be like, you can't even believe it.
What's so funny about you mentioning that he got back to you right away, I remember speaking with Sophie Tucker about the song that they did with John Summit, and they said the same thing, that like they DM'd him at like 5 a.m. and he got back to them like right away.
No way. Where was he, I wonder?
It's like, how are you doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the pure professional that he is. He's everywhere all at once, all of the time, isn't he? So
that's going to catch up to him, but we don't need to tell him that. Now, was this song written by Hayley Williams from Paramore?
So there's been some confusion. I'm aware of throughout my career.
So can you talk about this?
So I don't know if many people know, but my actual name is Hayley Williams, which
is confusing when you're doing show prep to find out who wrote the song and you see that.
Yeah, if you saw in the credits, like, who wrote this track? And it says Hayley Williams, you're like,
oh my God, that was me. I was like, wow, how did Paramore get into this?
I mean, hey, Hayley, if you're out there and you'd like to write with me, oh my gosh, I'm really down for that. I would love that. Two fellow Hayley Williams is in the room. Should it happen? Should it not?
Oh, she's actually back here. Hold on, let me let her in.
Oh, hello.
Now, at what point did you decide to go with Hayla?
I think it was about probably about 4 years ago, something like that, because I started to get tagged in when I was kind of Hayley Williams, when I was my own name. Oh, she was getting tagged in things. If I was on a radio show or something, they'd tag her instead of me, just because the researcher, obviously, fair enough, just goes like, oh, well, that's, and just tagged the wrong person. So I thought, this is actually a bit of a problem now, I think. So I just thought, you know what, I'll use my nickname, which is Hayla, and there was born that, really. But it was one of those things I just thought, oh, actually, she's getting tagged in things, and she probably, I don't know if she ever saw it, she probably didn't, but I don't want her to be like, who is this person?
I completely understand that, because I couldn't get Brian Fink on Instagram. I had to do I am Brian Fink, because there's another Brian Fink who got that first, and he wouldn't give it to me. No. I mean, we got into it. He actually blocked me. Oh my God, Brian Fink blocked me. What the heck is that?
Well, I hope Hayla never blocks me, I tell you, but
So where did the nickname Hayla come from?
Hayla.
Really?
Well, it was just one of those things. I mean, I get called Hales, Hayla, and then my mates, when we used to do like bands, we'd do, obviously cover tracks sometimes or whatever, and that was one of them. And then, so that was born out of the back of that.
Well, I'm glad you went with Hayla. It stands out. It's perfect. Now, I know you also, besides Where You Are, you just dropped the song with Sub Focus. How did that song come together?
Yeah, well, actually, that's something, I will be honest, it's something that I didn't write, that track. It was a re-sing for me, which was a pleasure and absolute honor as well, to be asked to try and replicate Becky's voice or try.
Oh, so Paramore didn't write that one?
No, she's not on that. Got little bits I need to kind of probably say to her, you know, like, we need to have a chat, Hayley.
So you mentioned Becky. Was that Becky Hill?
Becky Hill, yeah. So originally, I think she was going to be the vocalist for it, but I think because of her release schedules, they just thought, you know, maybe we'll find somebody else to sing the track. And it just so happened they actually asked me, and they were happy with the job that I did. So that was born out of that. But it's nice because I haven't really done a lot of drum and bass before. I had one out a couple of years ago, but it was really nice that I was asked to do that. And I hopefully will be singing that live at some point. But
that's so awesome. And that's crazy that it was originally Becky Hill, because I remember speaking with Alesso about words, and his number one was Zara Larsson, was originally supposed to be Becky Hill as well, but because of her release schedule. That's so insane.
There we go. It was everywhere as well.
I mean, that's great for you guys.
Yeah, I know. I did message her and I was like, thanks, Nate.
Now, do you know Becky?
Yes, well, we've only sort of met over the last, last summer, really. Or no, was it last Christmas? I was doing the orchestra tour with Pete Tong, and she's been a staple on that tour for years now.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to be on the show at the same time as her. So I did a little guest slot and she was there. So I met her a few times, and hopefully I'll meet her, you know, over the weekend potentially as well. But I don't know. I'd like to get to know her a bit more, but we have done a few gigs together now, which has been amazing.
That's so awesome. Yeah. Well, if you do see her this weekend, tell her I said hi. Give her my best.
Oh my God, I will. Definitely will do. Yeah.
Congratulations on all the success with where you are with John Summit. What is next for Hayla?
Oh, well, I'm going to be releasing some of my own material, actually, hopefully towards the end of the year. I have been working behind the scenes on like a little bit of a body of work, which I'm hopefully going to have together by maybe the end of next year. But there are a few singles that I'd like to release, and I might have a few more features here and there as well. But I'm going to keep them silent for now. But yeah.
I mean, you already talked about it earlier, but we're not going to talk about that.
I know, yeah.
Your manager in the green rooms right now, like, no, cut this.
Stop it. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Love you.
Everybody can follow at Hayla Sings on all socials, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Hayla, it is so awesome seeing you again on our 1 year anniversary.
I know. Happy birthday.
I know this is horrible of me, but as typical man, I didn't get you anything for our 1 year anniversary. I know. I know.
I'll forgive you.
What a horrible way to end the interview.
With no gift.
With no gift. Hayla, congratulations. It's great seeing you again. Thank you for your time on America's Dance 30.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Yeah.